Shad, a very warm greetings to each one from Dublin, Ireland. I'm particularly grateful to our friends in the DASCOM and the Ministry of Electronics and IT for sparing time for this interactive program. Friends, as far as IT sector is concerned, India is so well known that I don't have to talk about it. I can only say that in IT sector, India is going through a very profound transformation. So, it's no longer just BPO and outsourcing, but going very significantly up the value ladder. And I think 80% of Fortune 500 companies are sourcing their research and development from you. Sure. So India's IT sector is not just the numerical strength and manpower that it employs, but in terms of the cutting edge research and innovation that it is spearheading. About Ireland, I think it is a very fascinating story. I have been in Ireland for about more than 2 years, and it's very fascinating to see how Ireland has transformed itself from a rural agrarian society, farming-based economy, to a very sophisticated technology-based economy. Okay. And also the number of Ireland's the Ireland's population and size is kind of deceptive with regard to Ireland's real potential. The population of Ireland is only about 5 million, but it's about $500 billion economy. Ireland is the fastest growing economy in the entire European Union. Ireland is the only economy which continued to grow positively even during Corona pandemic. Also, if you look at the sectoral strength of Irish economy, it's very fascinating because IT sector, almost all top IT companies have significant presence in Ireland. Similarly, the pharmaceutical sector, medtech sector, medical devices, agri-tech, fintech, aviation, particularly the finance leasing part. Ireland is a global player. And it's not just advantage of tax which attracts companies to Ireland, but also it's very sophisticated financial hub, very sophisticated ecosystem of development, research and development, innovation, and nurturing of startups, which Ireland now boasts of. Every year, Ireland exports more than 200 billion euros of manufactured goods. $200 billion of manufactured goods. Also, about 180 billion euros of services export. So Ireland should not be seen from the 5 million population point of view. Similarly, the stereotypical notion of Ireland is like a small country on the extremity of Europe. But if you look more closely, then Ireland is central to both transatlantic and European economy. In terms of connectivity, Ireland is a very significant stepping stone for reaching out to both sides. IT sector itself, I think, can provide very significant and mutually beneficial opportunities for linking Indian and Irish economies and businessmen. I would like to focus on 4 thematic clusters on which both sides, the entrepreneurs from here, Ireland, and also friends from India can look at. First is the established multinational companies. Ireland has about 1,900 multinational companies. In IT sector, as I said, very large number of IT sector companies from all over the world are very active here. And in this field, I see like US, I had some study done, there are about 1,000 American multinational companies in Ireland. Very many of them are already present in India. So if I look at the connectivity in the MNC cluster between India and Ireland, it's very profound, very deep. It is in pharmaceutical sector is evident because we supply a lot of ingredients for Irish pharmaceutical industry. In IT sector, it's not so well known. So this is one big area which we are already connected with Ireland, but it's not evident. Second area is education and that related sector of R&D and innovation and ecosystem related to education and skill development. Again, it's not so well known that Ireland has a very sophisticated, uh, very high quality tertiary education system, professional education system. For friends in India, we get every year about 60,000 or so international students. A country of 1,000 universities and 1.4 billion people, we get only about 60,000 international students. Land with a population of 5 million people gets 35,000 international students. This is, again, in this sector, I see India and Ireland are very profoundly connected. Because last 3 years, India has become the number one source of international students in Irish university. So we in education, and also our students are coming for masters and PhD programs. They are not coming for easy courses. They are going for very challenging programs and leading research and development innovation in Ireland. You go to any major R&D hub in Ireland connected with universities, you will find significant presence of our scholars, our researchers. So education, R&D, innovation, that cluster, again, very significant area, and we are connected with quite deeply. Third sector is startups. India, as we know, is now the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. We have about 120,000 registered startups. India, the startup ecosystem is quite different because it's not limited to e-business and e-commerce and IT related. Our startups have very widespread, about 60, 70 different thematic areas in which we have startups. Also, our startups are not just concentrated to traditional IT hubs. Industry hubs. They are spreading to tier 2, tier 3 cities. So the startup segment of India is extremely vibrant, and it needs closer attention by Irish friends, friends who are in Ireland. Again, unicorn. India is home of about 115 unicorns, third largest unicorn hub. Similarly, Ireland also is equally fascinating. It's a 5 billion people, but 6 unicorns. Ireland also has about 25,000 startups. And also, it's very fascinating that success rate of startups in Ireland is the highest in European Union. And again, I see there's a growing linkage between India and Ireland in this segment, startup segment. And thanks to efforts of my colleague Mirugraj, we have already established a kind of informal network of Indian origin startups in Ireland, and there are about 35 startups that we know of. So in startups founded by Indian origin entrepreneurs, Indian students, and researchers in Ireland. And it is also very refreshing that although they are very young, but they are using their contacts in India and actually becoming a link between startup ecosystems of India and Ireland. So this is another very significant area in which we need to do more focused work. In fact, fourth area I see is India and Ireland are both very strong in creativity using technology, like digital creation, whether it's a gaming or animation or digital art or designing or augmented reality and virtual reality. So tech-driven creativity, creative industries based on technology, particularly IT solutions. So India, because of its mega-sized entertainment industry, both films and also TV serials, other productions. So India is a very, very strong hub. Similarly, Ireland, with a limited size, plays oversized role in the field of entertainment and creative industries. There is very significant opportunity for us to dovetail our talents and unique assets. The way forward, I think, is three steps. First and most important step is to get to know. We need more awareness, and this is the weakest link at present because India's story is not so well known, unfortunately, in Ireland. The Irish media only focuses on extremely negative stories, so people here have no way of getting to know what India is doing in terms of bustling creation, creativity, and fastest growing economy. That story is never told by Irish media. So people in Ireland, by and large, are like very ignorant of contemporary India. Same in India about Ireland. The knowledge is very limited. So we are focusing as embassy, we are focusing on low cost connectivity and networking opportunities. My colleague Hemaji, she has been coordinating India Ireland Friendship Lecture Series. So that is one channel we are opening for spreading of awareness. And my colleague Rubraj handles many state-focused and sector-focused connectivity programs using hybrid mode or virtual mode. So that there is a minimal expenditure but widest possible dissemination of information and positive stories and opportunities. So this is one big area which we have to continue. Second area is like getting to the next phase of networking to like having serious B2B information sharing. Business does not get done 100 people on this side and 300 people on that. Business gets done only in one-on-one meetings. So the initial networking has to be followed up with like narrow sectors, focused B2B engagements. And I'm very convinced that once the relevant partners are brought together, they have a conversation, the affinity between India and Ireland is very natural. We have similar habits, similar mentality, similar mindset, and a similar aptitude of excelling. So, and we all both value personal friendship. So, I'm very convinced that the moment the like-minded people are brought together, they will find opportunities to work together as well. And in that context, I think very privileged that we have a natural connect between India and Ireland because Indian community in Ireland is now the third biggest community. Maybe British and Polish are slightly ahead of us, but we are one of the biggest diaspora communities in Ireland. And also the diaspora in Ireland is very professional, very talented, capable. And also, fortunately, the Indian diaspora is representing all parts of India. Almost every state is represented. So our Irish friends have the opportunity of get to know India at the grassroots level through the intermediacy of the diaspora. So leveraging the presence of Indian diaspora, we can drastically expand the awareness about each other. From the embassy side, we have a small team, but we have very dynamic, very committed team, and we are always available to anyone who is seeking any assistance, input, guidance, or connections in India or connections in Ireland in any manner. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can write to us on email, you can write to us on social media, and we do respond, and we do take pride in helping anyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Today we are accompanied by Ms. Anuradha Bhattacharya from National Association of Software and Service Companies, NASSCOM, who is going to present a detailed presentation on the IT sector of India. May I please request Ms. Anuradha to start with the presentation now.
Very warm welcome from India to our friends from Ireland as well. So yes, we have, we have tried to create a very short presentation, giving overview about who we are as NASSCOM, how is the Indian tech industry, what are the key trends and landscape of the Indian IT industry. Although I've tried to minimize the number of, number of figures and data to not to bombard you, but unfortunately the scale and size of Indian tech industry is so huge that please excuse me, because I'll have a lot of numbers to talk about and present with you a lot of growth trends from India. So first of all, who we are the voice of the $250 billion tech industry from India. We are empowered, and we are and founded by 3,000 members who are also a coalition of competitors. But the beauty of this association is that all these companies have come together and create an ecosystem where we can, where we focus on creating India or promoting India as an innovation hub across the globe. So within these 3,000 members, we have all kinds of companies, starting from startups, AI companies, ER&Ds, multinational companies or GCCs that we call them, global capability centers, multinational companies like TCS, Infosys, and Wipro, and so on. So the kind of scale is huge, and also the number of companies that we represent as our members contribute to 90% of this industry's revenue, which is $250 billion. So NASSCOM has different distinct entities as well. So we have very distinct entities also within NASSCOM. For example, the NASSCOM COE Center of Excellence, which is a platform, or which is an unique entity within NASSCOM, which takes helps of academic research to solve real life problems. Future Skills is a platform. It's an ecosystem which is joint initiative along with the Ministry of Electronics and IT in India, METI. It is formed to help our young learners, to empower them with cutting edge skills on digital skills, to be ready for the ever evolving tech landscape in the world. NASSCOM Foundation is the non-profit arm of our organization, which actually creates which helps create social impact through different use of technologies. We also do a lot of policy advocacy. We work very closely with the Indian government, both the Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of IT. We work with our missions. For example, right now we have collaborated with the Indian Embassy. We collaborate with embassies and trade commissions across the world, in North America, Europe, APAC, and Middle East. So we work together in basically promoting and fostering growth and collaboration in tech industry. So our main motto basically is to empower all the industries with digital prowess, to empower India digital skills, to be able to be ready to face the ever evolving tech landscape. Our motto is to help our tech companies access new markets, foster new markets internationally, locally. And also our motive is to create an environment where India is recognized as the global hub for innovation and technology, which is we are already, I think we have taken a lot of steps. And whenever there is a requirement for technology or digital skills, India is where the world looks at. And so why is in India at the top of global recognition when it comes to tech? India has a very, very deep, profound, successful tech innovation story, right from 1990s, when India opened its economy to the global world. Starting from there on, today, if you look at India has grown from top 4 or 5 companies, multinational companies who had their outsourcing from Americas, from some of the developed nations, to today, where India is seen as a global innovation hub. Not only a place where because of cost arbitrage, but because we have the biggest talent pool in the world. We have access to talent. We have an infrastructure which has shown the world of its capabilities in the last 3 decades. Even after COVID, where the entire world is still reeling under soft recession or economic slowdown, the tech industry has shown its resilience. And you can see on the left hand side that India's tech industry has significantly grown from 2021, 22, and 23. Even in this financial year, current financial year 23-24, where we have seen a lot of industries we have with snapped growth. The Indian tech industry has taken a leap of a very meager, although meager 3.8, but it's a positive sign that it is still resilient and gaining, continuing to its growth performance. Indian tech industry, out of this 250 billion, about 200 billion dollars is attributed to exports, which is a very, very high figure. It's an export dominant industry. And if you look at our exports by geography, USA by far is the market leader, where 62% of our total tech exports is attributed by USA, followed by UK, which is closely about 17%. And the next one is continental Europe, 11%, which remains our third most important markets. And of course, Ireland is one of our key focus. So we will continue to collaborate and talk with Ireland to foster new ways of innovation and digitization of both the countries. If you look at the verticals, BFSI has traditionally remained the largest segment, contributing to more than 40% of India's tech revenues, which is followed by telecom and manufacturing. I would just request all of you to take a few seconds to really look at the numbers, the starting numbers, which talks about the success of India's IT growth story. So India's that the tech industry, $250 billion, is so important, and it currently contributes to 7% of India's total GDP. That's what is the contribution of India's IT industry. And if you look at the service industry, India is largely a service reliant industry. So 50% of its total output is attributed to IT exports. So IT contributes to 50% of India's service exports to the world. And if you look at the global outsourcing share, we contribute to about 60% of the global sourcing for IT in the entire world. And in the last slide, we just looked at the different geographies. So even here, you can look at the breakup. So export contribute to almost $200 billion of export revenues for the Indian IT industries. Of course, the domestic industries continues to grow, but it's largely an export-driven industry. There are 38,000 tech firms in India, and a huge number of direct and indirect employees are 5.5 million in the tech industry. And we are very proud that over the years that we are growing towards equality and gender appropriation. 36% of total employees in the tech industry are women. And in fact, our association is being led by a woman, Ms. Debjani Ghosh. So she's the first woman president of NASSCOM. So talent has been the biggest competitive advantage of why India has done exceptionally well in the tech sector. India has a very strong pool of STEM talent. Not only talent, it's backed by its educational facilities, infrastructure, and universities, world-class universities that we have in India. Over the last 3 years, its operation, it has a matured ecosystem where it can provide services across the value chain of the industry, be it the core IT services sector, or the ER&Ds, or startups, or deep tech AI. India has exceptionally done well in all these segments. And in fact, over the last 4 to 5 years, of the total digital talent, 30% of our talent is equipped with new age digital talent. For example, skills in artificial intelligence, skills in IoT, big data, deep tech, etc. And in fact, companies also have taken a lot of initiatives to upskill and upgrade their existing talent, so that they are able to cope up and provide continued services to the ever evolving tech ecosystem in the world. If you look at the numbers, India will have 2.6 million digitally skilled people by 2030, which will be the lowest demand supply gap for tech talent amongst all the countries in the world, which will be the largest resource of talented digital pool in the entire world. So if so which which means that India is going to be the technology innovation deep tech hub of the world in the next coming years as well. In fact, by 2023, it is expected to have skilled talent surplus by it's strategically placed to meet the growing digital talent. So India will be the only country which will have digital talent surplus and the lowest demand supply gap in the entire world. Indian talent, along with their technology prowess, they also have good English speaking skills, and they are capable of delivering processes across the value chain of the entire tech industry. Now, talking about GCC, what are GCCs? GCCs are global capability centers, basically the MNCs which I was talking about, which are also a part of our members in our association. They are the companies, global companies, who have set up their technology centers. Initially, of course, because the cost arbitrage, but now over the last decade, in fact, the last 2 decades, it is not only about the cost advantage that India has, or the number of skilled people or digitally talented people. It's about the quality of talent which is available in India. And also, many of these GCCs which are operational in India now are full-scale organization which are independently taking product decision, business decision, and are innovation hubs for a lot of their parent company. So if you look at the numbers, there has been a 60% growth since the last 8 to 9 years, starting from 2015 to 2023. At present, in 2024, we have 1,600 plus GCCs in India, operating in India. For example, some of them are Daimler, Zoom Info, Ford, DFE, Mercedes, and you name. There are many companies, H&M, Microsoft, Hitachi, Siemens, and we can go on. The companies who have set up India, looking leveraging the innovation hub and the strong talent pool available. Two of the key messages from this is 65% of the GCCs currently in India are from the USA. So which means there is a lot of opportunities for other countries to also leverage the Indian talent, the tech infrastructure, the availability of key players who are already providing a lot of research capabilities to some of their partners who have also set up as joint ventures along with Indian companies. And also one of the key stats here would be, which is not surprising, but of course 30% of the total GCCs units have presence in Bangalore. And most of the GCCs which have set up in India over the last 10 years are multifunctional centers, which means they have their ER&D centers here, they have their IT services development center, they have their BPO centers here. So they are leveraging India as a multifunctional technology center in India. Startup, I think His Excellency had already pointed out a lot about the prowess of India as a startup hub in the entire world. India continues to be third largest startup ecosystem of the world. So we'll just take a few seconds and we'll go to the next slide. So it's the third largest ecosystem, and 40%, as I think His Excellency also pointed out, are from the tier 2 cities, which means there's an availability of talent, there's an availability of infrastructure, there is availability of new companies who have set up and providing these tech services. So you can go beyond the metros, the big cities where infrastructure cost is very high. Where space is limited, you can access the tier 2 cities, which is upcoming in terms of their infrastructure. They are hungry for new business. There are new universities, research centers coming up, and of course the new talent which are coming up as a result of all these factors. So what makes India one of the most vibrant startup ecosystems in the world? A resilient economy. As I mentioned, I think in one of my previous slide, that as the world is looming with soft recession, economic downturn, India is still resilient and growing and has positive growth rate with its young population and access to capital. And along with that, there is an entrepreneurial culture which is coming up, which has taken a huge uptick over the last 10 years. The graduates coming out of India are not only looking at jobs, but they are looking at opportunities where they can, innovate something and conceptualize a new idea and start a new company. So the startup culture is at the highest over the last many years that India has seen, and it's going to even go up because of the range of the past experiences or many past successful startups, starting from e-commerce, from Flipkart, Paytm, Bharat Pay. There are so many examples which have given the inspiration to the young talented Indian to start a new company. So India continues to be the startup ecosystem, and there are many companies who have started over the last 3 to 5 years, but are looking at new geographies and have been with us to many countries as part of our delegations, and have explored the new geographies, partnered with local companies there, have got access to investors and capital there. So there has been a lot of activities from the startup and SME side, from the real experience from NASCOM as well. As we talk about startups, about a huge percentage, mostly about 40 to 50% of the startups are focusing on deep tech and AI. AI has been there in the discussions over the last 5 years, but the way it has taken up over the last 1 year, which has taken 3% growth in last year, has really shown that there is a lot of untapped opportunity in AI. And moment generative AI and everything started discussions in the world, India was one of the countries which has taken that advantage and forged a lot of partnerships with industries and companies to come up with new solutions, especially in advertising, marketing, content creation, customized services to their customers, automated voice robots. There's so many activities and many startups which have come up in these segments and are working with many of the large companies in India and internationally as well. So if you look at some of the international partnerships in AI, industry partnerships in AI development, you can see some of the large names: Birlasoft, Cognizant, HCL, Hexaware, Infosys, L&T. All of them have seen the growth, and they know that there is going to be a huge demand for AI services, generative AI and deep tech services. After COVID, deep tech companies has seen a lot of interest from startups and also from multinational companies. So you can see some of the key areas where they have started their operations are blockchain, robotic process automation, IoT, virtual reality, augmented reality, quantum computers, and so on. So this is one area where the growth has just started, and we anticipate it's going to be one of the largest area of growth in the entire tech landscape in India. ER&D is what we are calling the poster child, because it has shown 48% growth over the last 1 year. 48% is a significant number, because the reasons behind this is after COVID, a lot of large industries, they had to digitize, they had to involve digitalization in many of their operations, especially if you look at the sectors like defense, aerospace, and automotive. They have invested heavy amounts in engineering IT, which is largely driven by need for sustainability, need for efficiency, autonomous technology, IoT, and even electrification in the automotive. And many of these investments are driven by the large developed markets like Western Central Europe and of course the Americas. So this was in a nutshell about the tech industry. Now, as we were talking about NASCOM, I represent the global trade at NASCOM. How we can help you, the Irish companies or the Indian companies who have joined us today. the IT companies. We'll just give a brief overview. So at GTD, we help you for your faster go-to market. We take delegations. We help you in connecting to VCs. We help in matchmaking B2B. We help you raise your branding and visibility at global expos. And of course, we work very closely with the embassies and trade commissions in India, and as well as Indian missions abroad. These are some of the international opportunities that we have helped our SMEs. We have done in the Danish market. We have done in North South Wales, which is in Australia. Some of the interventions are in Canada, UK, Africa, in Germany. So every year there are about 7 to 8 international interventions where we take our companies and we give them various platforms to meet companies from different geographies, be it partners, be it enterprise connect, be it VC connect, be it policy or challenges sessions on knowledge, understanding, etc. These are some of the road shows where we have helped some of the economic development agencies in understanding India, and we have taken road shows to different cities and showed them what is the opportunity in India. It's a deep stick immersion experience of meeting the companies face to face, looking at the facilities of some of the companies, interacting with Indian companies, or even exhibiting at some of the large tech expos. For example, we are expecting a ministerial delegation from Germany at Bangalore Tech Summit this year at end of the year. These are just some of the examples of global expos that we have taken our companies. So this is all from our side today. We will be very happy to take any questions if you have. And we are very happy to help you navigate through the Indian tech industry if you are an Irish company, and we are also very happy to help our Indian tech companies if you are looking at new geographies and would like to take help from any of our interventions. We will be very happy to help you.
Now I will request Mr. Rohit Thakrar from India Ireland Business Association to start this presentation.
So Ireland India Business Association, we are facilitating pathway for cross-border business expansion between India and Ireland. The idea has been around supporting the businesses both in Ireland and India to grow and increase the trade between each other. It's a brief presentation, but just to give you a background, Rohit is my name. I'm the CEO of a company called Target Integration. Started the business here in 2008. So it's an Irish SME from that perspective. 16 years running. We are digital adoption specialists. 135 people in the company. We have 4 offices. So Ireland, UK, India, and US, where we have opened up our offices recently. I studied here in TU Dublin, so my post-graduation and graduation happened here in Dublin. Worked in manufacturing, distribution, and services world. My last job was with Virgin Media, who are now Virgin Media, but they were UPC back then. And of course, NTL and everything else, who will know the history around this. I'm an electronics and telecoms engineer working in the computer world now. My colleague who wasn't able to make it to the event today, Shomo, he's a part of the Ireland India Business Association as well, and we run what is called the ICT working group in Ireland India Business Association. I'll talk about all the other working groups as well while we have the opportunity. But the mission, in a nutshell, is to help organizations and enterprises grow in the Irish and Indian business space. So we have a chapter here in Ireland. It started here in Ireland, but we have now opened up a chapter in India as well, based in Mumbai, and we have a team based in New Delhi, in Gurgaon as well. We run quite a number of events throughout the year. I can see quite a number of faces around the table who have been at the events as well. So thank you for being there. But everything from a roundtable discussion, everything from networking events. One of the very recent events which happened in House of Lords and Bank of Ireland. So all of these events are a part of increasing the business and communication. Again, networking is a big part. Networking starts in a room like this, but has to continue after the meeting, after the conversation, as Kailash mentioned as well. So we would definitely say if we facilitate that as well, same as Embassy is doing. We do quite a lot of events in conjunction together with Embassy as well, and we are very thankful for all the support. Why people, businesses should join IIBA? Primarily around meet your new clients, new customers, new contacts. Have your say. We, on a regular basis, at the last event, we had Minister of Enterprise and Trade, Mr. Neil, who was here there as well. Have your say. You're able to communicate with the people, the ministries here in Ireland. You're able to communicate and connect with the ministries in India. When you're a part of IIBA, raise your profile, connect with them. You can raise your profile. You can come up with ideas and put them forward. But there is, of course, business networking, access to expertise. If you want to have knowledge of how to set up, how to start in India, or how to start in Ireland, how to, which authorizations to get through, we have people available, and it's all there is no cost to it because it's for members, and members are helping each other. So, it's not that we are charging. These are not consultants. We are putting you in touch with people who can advise. So, access to expertise, business intelligence, knowledge, information, numbers available to you, and promotion and visibility. Of course, we all do this because, yes, we all want to promote our own business as well. From a raising the profile perspective, members who are there, they can always host an IIBA event at their businesses. KPMG, Deloitte, they've always hosted events. We have had events from Bank of Ireland, which were hosted by them. AIB are on the board as well. Bank branding and co-branding, you have opportunities. We put up your stands, you talk about your services to the members and the non-members who join these events. You can deliver a keynote on a regular basis. You can advertise in the newsletter and the website. You can advertise on the social media of IIBA as well. And of course, member highlights. On a regular basis, we highlight a particular organization to say, this is the space they are working in. So it's not just ICT, but yet today, because I run the ICT working group. I'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But these are the different working groups which are active in our India Business Association. So we have one on aerospace, we have one on ICT, pharma and medtech. We have a SME and startup group as well. Education and jobs, universities are a big part of that. And more working groups are coming in future. And again, if you're a member, you have the authority. It's a members run organization. So you can start a working group. So look, I would like to run that. Some of the team members, again, I can always, this presentation is available on the website as well. Saurav down below here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but yes, here, Saurav is running the Indian chapter. Richard, who's William Fry partner. They were the founding members of IIBA back in 2008. So it's an organization running for 16 years at this stage. Loads of plans and activities planned for 2023 to your presentation. But we have a full list available on the website for 2024 events as well. So please do check it out, and we would love to see you at one of the events. These are some of the partners, some of the organizations who have been a part of the association since the beginning.
Thank you, everyone. May I now request His Excellency Ambassador Kailash Mishra ji for his concluding remarks on key takeaways.
Thank you. First of all, I must thank Anuradha ji for a superlative presentation. It made us all so proud of India and the tech prowess the whole NASSCOM itself is playing. I was a Deputy Consul General in San Francisco, so I'm very much aware of the role that NASSCOM has played in branding of India. And the efforts consistently that NASSCOM has made in showcasing the talent of India, branding of India, has played a very, very important role in growth of our IT industry. So NASSCOM, thank you. In terms of follow-up action, I think it would be great if NASSCOM representatives are visiting any part in Europe, then they can also consider a quick visit to Dublin as well. And I think it would be really useful if NASSCOM can have some institutional linkage with your counterpart in Ireland. could be IBEC, which is a broader umbrella organization, and they have a dedicated cluster on ICT. So it will be ideal if NASSCOM can connect with and have institutional partnership with IBEC with regard to the industry to industry linkage. Second is for friends who are looking at Indian companies looking at Ireland and Irish companies looking at India, having been in forensics for more than 3 decades and also in engineer, my academic background, I know B2B sounds very nice, but in terms of delivery, it's not so easy. The big companies, medium and large companies, they have put equipment and resources to engage cross border quite easily, and they don't really need embassy or IIBA. But for micro and small sector companies, B2B itself is not effective because they don't have money, they don't have resources to go and do a market survey back like across the boundary. So B for micro and small sector industries, you actually need BIB, business, and then some intermediary, then and that is where I feel a role of IIBA or IIC or even embassy could be very useful. And the best thing is that if you have any question, any how to, then send an email to embassies or to IIBA, and embassy represents whole of India. Embassy represents all states, all sectors. So please don't hesitate. If you have if you have any query, any ideas, any questions, then please write to us, and we will be happy to facilitate your necessary linkages. And I'm very proud to share with you that India has a leadership which is extremely tech savvy, extremely focused on making India an easier place to live. And there are institutions like NASSCOM. I've been dealing with NASSCOM for many decades, and I'm very confident that they are like very service oriented. So if there is any genuine requirement, then NASSCOM can help any IT sector company in whatever manner, like advise, connect, contact, further linkages. So NASSCOM can be a great partner for people who are looking at ICT sector engagement. Other sectors as well, we have similar bodies. So please don't hesitate to contact us, and we are working very closely with IIBA here, and also I'm very closely in touch with IIBA in Delhi, in India. Saurabh is a very dear friend. So ask and write to us. Once again, Anuradha, thank you so much for your outstanding presentation and great work you are doing. Please convey my greetings from Dublin to all your top management that they have a fan in Dublin. Many fans.
Thank you very much, Mr. Excellency, for your appreciative words. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mugragaj, for inviting us today at this platform.
Thank everybody for spending some precious time to make the event successful. Thank you very much for joining us today.